We've just completed marking the structural components of our entire head, and now we can continue to generate the facial rigging before rigging. We need to mark these models. There are many components here when marking these structural lines. It actually marks some models accordingly. Our head model is separated, such as eyebrows, tongue, and so on. If they are combined, you might just need to mark here for teeth and tongue remaining. If they're combined, it won't automatically distribute weight, and you might need to manually distribute weight to these parts. But for the outer parts, it should automatically distribute weight. Let's go through them one by one. Firstly, this is the specular reflection piece for the eyes. We don't have a separate specular piece, it's merged on the eye. So, there's no need to add it. If it has, you can add it. It will generate a controller to independently manipulate the specular reflection. This one is for our facial model, this is for adding, this is for clearing. For instance, if we make a mistake in marking, we can clear it, then we add it. The button here is for selection the marked geometry. The left eye has been marked, let's add the right eye. These are the eyelash models. Let's add both of them here. These are for upper and lower teeth, and for the tongue. Once these are added, we can continue to generate the facial rig. Let me save this file first. Now, let's proceed with generating rig. The generated content, by default, uses our official AnimCraft template. If we make any edits to the locators or add controllers, we can save it as a new template. Then, we can select our template for generation. Now, we'll use the official template. We'll cover customization later, and now, let's click Create Rig. This might take a moment, it will run for a bit. And it's establishing the relationships between these parts. Alright. Our entire facial rig is created. Let's take a look at some movements to ensure everything is working correctly. It should be functioning normally. Because the eyes are relatively large, sometimes the position of the controller, like this one, may shift from our model. We can adjust the lines generating these controllers. By switching to fit mode, we switch to the position, or we call it fit mode. And then we observe the eyes, which actually have two lines. Here you can see their names. It's called base CV. These lines can control the positions of our controllers. Then we can make some minor edits to better fit our model. If it's a normal character's eyes, they're basically the same size. So you can skip this operation. Move it slightly, then the curve below. Good. After the adjustment, switch back to rig mode. Now it's much better. What does this button mean? It means that if we find the lines we've marked aren't correct, we can remark them. After remark, click this button and it will reposition our rig controller, but we don't need to do this step now. So, let's move on to the next topic. By default, our eye controllers are about this many if our model's eyes are relatively large. The weight distribution may not be optimal, and for blinking the eye's expression, some manual adjustments may be needed. If the topology of our eyes is good, like a loop-by-loop structure, then we click this button. This button means it generates eye controllers based on the model's structure. Now you can see, each line has a bone. This way, the closing result will be better, and notice, this depends on the requirement. If we don't need that many for the game, we can delete them. Click and delete them. Then we can configure here for things we don't need, for example, disable those we don't want. We will talk about this later, and now, let's make it full skeletal eye due to the eye is very large. Then this button, it's to delete our eyelashes, it's bone structure of the eyelashes. Let's display these bones here. We see it has bones for eyelids and eyelashes. They are separated this way, we can control the curvature and flutter of our eyelashes. If we don't need them, we click this, we can delete the eyelash bones. Then it's gone, and we can create them back again. Click again. And it comes back, it's back. Let's hide this bone first. Then this part here is roughly like this. There's a difference between TV and game standard here. We've actually created a lot of additional bones here, including those for the eyes. And for the pupils, if we don't need them, we click this. It will require us to switch to the fit mode, and it will delete some unnecessary bones. Of course, we can also configure them ourselves. Configure here. After configuring, then save that template. We can directly call that template, for example. It all needs to be switched to fit mode. For example, let's select to the game template. This one has fewer, these are gone. There are fewer bones. This is the full mode, okay. This is a module for generating facial expressions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.